Welcome back to the Birdhouse Mock Draft Monday, and love having you guys in here for this Mock Draft Monday. We are checking out what happened at the Senior Bowl and East West Shrine Bowls and applying them to our mock drafts here now. We're going to go 3 rounds tonight to get you involved with a little more action. The last couple of weeks, we've just done 2 rounds. But tonight we're going to go 3. So let's get right to it. Yes, here we go. There is the board, and I see that we've got Foss Boss in the house claiming the 101 and Brandon in there at the 102. Let's see who else joins in. But for now, just a little recap of what went on over the week. That was the Senior Bowl week, the Pro Bowl week, and the East West Shrine Bowl. Not much to really take away from the Pro Bowl, but the Senior Bowl, we had some risers. Definitely Arroyo, the tight end from Miami, pushed himself up, solidified himself into the top 5 tight ends, and arguably had a better Senior Bowl week than Harold Fannin, who was also there. Now, the top 2 tight ends, Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland from Michigan, they did not come to the Senior Bowl. So it really was Arroyo from Miami that showed out impressively, blew everybody away. And so, Fannin didn't necessarily do anything wrong. It's just that Arroyo was so good. And so a lot of people are pushing Arroyo up ahead of Fannin because of that. Now we still have the combine, free agency, and then another month and a half until the actual NFL draft. So a lot of time yet, but Arroyo definitely did not hurt himself at all. Now at the quarterback position, the big mover was Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. He stepped his game up, looked very comfortable and confident, and he has now the scouts pushing him up into possibly the top half of the first round of the real NFL draft, making him very viable as a first-round rookie pick for us, which is great news because Jalen Milroe did not perform that well, and so most of us were looking forward to him with his rushing upside, possibly pushing himself up into the first round, but not so much there. But we did have Jackson Dart showing up. I've seen people mock him as high as pick number 7 right now to the Jets. So should be interesting there. All right. At the other positions, wide receiver, not so much going on there. A lot of the cornerbacks shut down these wide receivers, so there wasn't too many real big movers there. At the running back position, we had Rashad Smith from SMU, bigger running back, can catch the ball well. He played a little wide receiver, but he is a dynamic running back, sort of in the mold of like Tyron Tracy, but he's a little taller, I think. So that type of deal where he played some wide receiver and is a running back now. He was a true running back all of last year, so don't get me wrong there with him. He's not like Tracy, who actually played wide receiver for like 3 years at college. And then Rashad Smith played wide receiver back in high school, came to SMU and played running back there. And then also I want to mention Devin Neal, who stepped his game up a little. He already was looking like a 2nd-round rookie pick for us, but he solidified himself in his draft stock. So I liked him ahead of this already. I didn't like him to push him up into the top 5 of the running backs, but I think he definitely solidified himself as a 2nd-rounder for now. So we're just waiting for a few others to join us in the draft room, and then we'll get this thing kicked off. We've got Foss Boss and Brandon sitting in the house. I'm going to take I'm going to claim the 108 here. Yabba dabba doo. And anybody else want to hop on in? Should be a good run here. And yeah, if you guys got any questions or anything, feel free to ask about any of the prospects. Again, the tight ends with Arroyo stepping his game up and Lachey from Iowa being back, that definitely strengthens this tight end class. I mean, I like this tight end class better than the quarterbacks right now. So, yeah, it's a whole new ball game in the tight end world here because with Kelsey and Andrews and Kittle, all of them aging out, so to speak, it is a new day and age for the tight ends with, back-to-back years here with tight end one rookie seasons. In Laporta 2 years ago, and then Bowers, of course, last year. Then you've got Kincaid in the mix as well. So the tight ends are having an overhaul, and so it is a young guy's game at the tight end position now. Don't get me wrong; these older veterans still will be playing next year. I mean, I guess Kelsey could retire, but I'm not buying that. But within 2-3 years here, these rookies over the past 2 years, and then this rookie class, they will be the top of the heap. We've got Steve in the house. There we go. Steve taking the 104. All right, guys, I think we're going to get going. We've got you in here. If anybody else wants to join in, just hop in, and we'll probably do a couple of these here. So we've got a 2-minute timer, guys. All right. And the computer, of course, will make the other selections that none of us have taken on here. All right, so let's get this fired up. Boom. On you, Foss Boss. Here we go. So, who is he going to take at the 101? I don't know. Now, of course, Ash Genty, yes, there it is. He has the generational talent. We'll just put it that way. He probably will dive in easily into the top 5 running backs the second he gets selected by an NFL team. And so for me right now, I've got him probably dead even with Saquon. So I'd have Gibbs and Bijan right ahead of him still. Between Genty and Saquon, if you've got the choice, I'm going to take Genty because, well, he's 5 years younger. So it just seems to make sense there. But don't get me wrong, Saquon could blow up again next year. I mean, with that O-line in Philly, I think Saquon will have a hell of a run next year as well, as long as he's not injured. Knock on the computer there. Good. Okay, so we had Tet go at the 102, then Emeka Egbuka going at the 103. This is wild. I like Egbuka a lot, but I don't know if I'm taking it at the 103 yet. Jeez. Computer must have needed a wide receiver really bad. Okay, so keep in mind here with Travis Hunter, again, go to all your leagues and please define the IDP scoring. Some of your leagues may have just put tackles in just to make sure, a wide receiver gets a point for a tackle and they tackle a corner that makes an interception. I don't know, but go over it. There's the IDP 1, 2, 3 scoring, which is very simple. And if you want, even what I think I'm trying to push in my leagues is just using half of what the points are in the IDP 1, 2, 3 scoring. So you get half a point for an assisted tackle, 1 for a full tackle. What is it? INT. 3 points for a sack. All right, it's on me. So Steve took Caleb Johnson, who I love. It's basically even with Amari and Hampton in my mind right now. Caleb and Caleb and Hampton are. Warren went 6, Hunter at 5. So I am looking Oof, this is why I took this spot, because it's so interesting. I don't know. It's team dependent. Like, I'm not in love with the quarterbacks, and now with Jackson Dart doing so well, I'm just going to take Cam Ward here. But I love Luther Burden as well. All the top 12 guys, really. Here we had Trey Harris go in the top 12, sneak in there. He did not go in the first round last week. But that's why we run these, so we know who has the potential to go in the first. All right, now we're on to the second round. We're going to do 3 rounds, guys. All right, and maybe get another one fired up. If not least, we could even do 3. I don't care. Mix it up a little. Draft from different spots. I know all of you guys are in a few leagues, so I'm sure you've got different first-round picks all over the place here. All right, Fossboss went Jalen Milroe as the third quarterback off the board, and it's on Brandon here at the 202. Yes, we are doing a 12-team Superflex tight end premium if you are interested in the format, of course. Now, we're basing it off just like a regular start 10, and Brandon goes Colston Loveland, then Quinshon Judkins. Man, if I could get Judkins at the 203, that is just a steal. Love that game. But man, in this year's draft, with the talent, the way it's piling up, that may where he ends up in your league. Who knows? Because I personally have Judkins and Henderson like dead even. It's really just team need. Henderson is more of a back that could really fit in on any team. He blocks well. He catches the ball well. Judkins is more of a between the tackles banger. But it's not like he can't catch the ball either. Judkins is a dude who ran for over 1,500 yards in the SEC in his first 2 college seasons at Ole Miss, and then tore it up at Ohio State this past year, especially in the national championship game. All right, so we had Jackson Dart going to Steve there, Isaiah Bond, then Ollie Gordon, and Devin Neal, who I mentioned earlier in this episode. So if I'm looking at it now, I see Fannin right there staring me down. Running backs. I love Scatabo, but man, we've got the receivers here. I like Matthew Golden, but here we are at tight end, and Mason Taylor's there. He showed out well at Combine. I am going to go with the hot guy, Elijah Arroyo from Miami, in the second round there. Now we go to the third. Slide this up for y'all there a little bit. Okay. There's the board for everybody to see. Okay. So we had Tez Johnson, Dylan Gabriel, Dylan Sampson, and Xavier Restrepo. Love that kid. Little Wes Welker type receiver out of Miami. Dylan Gabriel, now the Twitter world spit out that he threw the ball 74 miles an hour, that he was clocked at 74 miles an hour. Now, that had to be some kind of glitch, because the fastest recorded time at the Combine ever was 2 guys, 62 miles an hour. And that was Josh Allen and last year Joe Milton, who we all know has a cannon, even though he may not be as accurate as one would want to be. But so to jump that by 12 miles an hour, I mean, that'd be like, you remember when Aroldis Chapman came into the Major League Baseball, and out of nowhere he was throwing it, he ended up being clocked at 105 on one pitch. That'd be like if he was throwing it 112, where the fastest before him was 100 or 101. All right. Jalen Royals, love that kid. Fannin. Steve took Elik Ayamenor out of Stanford. Good pick there in the third. All right, so I am looking at going with the strength of the class here, and that's at running back. I'm going to jump on Scatabo there. He falls to the third round, guys, in this running back heavy class. You guys want to go four rounds? I mean, I know some of these dudes here. Go ahead, Boss. Why not? Then we'll fire up another one. All right. So, any questions out there, guys, on anybody? Jaden Higgins out of Iowa State. Good pick, wide receiver. Now, most of our leagues go 4 rounds, so we're going to end up having to know these guys anyway. Right, guys? So, might as well get used to them right now. All right. Somebody is probably asking to get in. I have the link here if you want. Is Jaden Higgins T. Higgins' brother? No, I don't believe he is. No. T. Higgins went to Clemson, and so I think they just happen to have the exact same last name. I can follow up and check on that, Jet, but as far as I know, he is not T. Higgins' brother. But he's built very similar, oddly enough. Yes, he's a taller receiver. Okay, so we had Jack Beck. He had a good Senior Bowl as well. Horton, RJ Harvey out of UCF. I'm not familiar with Evans, Horton, or Seth Williams. I think that's Seth Williams. I've heard his name, but I have to look into him a little more. I am going to, let's see here. Quarterbacks, I like Kyle McCord, but he's more of a backup type. Same with Will Howard. DJ Giddens, I love. Woody Marks and Brashard Smith. Wow. This is tough. I'm going to go with Brashard Smith for the receiving upside. All right, guys, we'll stop it there. That's round 4. We will end it there. Okay. We are not going to convert it to, but we'll delete this one and start it over. All right. So let me copy the link again. Guys, I will drop it in the Birdhouse here. There. And I will go into, I know you're all in the league. We just did a startup. We're in the middle of it. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and post it right there. There we go. Hopefully you guys can get on in. And I'll be waiting for you in the draft room. There we go. Okay. There's Brandon back in. Go ahead and pick second again. Pick somewhere else. Whatever you want, Brandon. Go for it. Steve and Chad, if you're in on it. Love to have you again. Okay. Don't need that. There. Steve joined up again. He took 7. I'm going to pick. Brandon's picking 12. I just picked 8th. I'm going to try the 3-hole here. Oh, and we've got Matt English in the house. How can you miss that ugly gator on there? Oh, of course. There we go. Matty English. And is Boss Foss Boss, there he is. All right. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 12. All right. Boys, ready to go? We're going to do 4 rounds here. I don't know if we'll get anybody else real quick. I'll give you 30 seconds. How about 3 seconds? 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Here we are. Okay, so we had an interesting one there at the 101. Now, if Cam Ward is the first quarterback taken in the draft, which he's projected right now, and we've seen a lot of mocks of him to the Titans, and you have a quarterback needy team with the 101 pick, who knows what kind of hype the quarterbacks are going to see the rest of this draft season. Cam Ward could just show up and be lights out Anthony Richardson style at the combine. I don't know that he has that athletic talent, but he's definitely more of a finished product than Anthony Richardson was at this point. I'll say that. But if this is the way things would go, I'd be dropping my dime on Tet McMillan there at the 103. So Fossboss, you're up. And so the only reason I bring that up is because like a couple of years ago, it was the whatever draft the CJ Stroud draft was, right? And that was, Bijan. Bijan was the 101 in just about every draft, but in one of my main leagues, dude was in on CJ Stroud. And Stroud, he picked Stroud 101, and then Stroud went out and balled out his rookie season and justified that pick. But now Stroud's kind of come back to earth a little after he struggled a little this second season. And, but it definitely didn't make that pick look terrible. Oh, man, we've got it on. I don't know why it didn't. Hold on, Brandon. Don't make a pick. I'm going to pause that. Let me look at the settings quick here. There we go. Sorry, Brandon. Thought you traded up there, didn't you? Okay. Oh, there's Dom. Dom is in the house. Welcome, Dom. You can get in on the next one. Oh, I got to unpause it. Sorry, fellas. Here we go. Let's unpause this. There we go. Okay, so Colson Loveland and Holly Gordon went there. Let's see who I'm looking at now. Milrow, blah. I would definitely be jumping on Jackson Dart for one. Devin Deal. What receivers all went in the first? Yeah. There's Fannin. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go Jackson Dart here. There we go. It's on you, Foss Boss. All right. Glad to have you in, Dom, checking out the show. Lovely Monday evening here. And it's, a little chilly outside, but not too bad. All that snow we got Saturday evening just washed away all day Sunday. And so we're back to, it's not freezing temperatures, I wouldn't say. It's roughly, what are we, in the 30s around here? Okay. Devin Neal to Foss Boss, solid pick. And then Matty English takes Trey Harris out of Ole Miss. The receiver tore it up all of September last year, then got hurt and missed the rest of the year. But that kid can play. He's one of the few wide receivers I wouldn't mind throwing a dart on come the second round of this draft. The receiver class has been a little underwhelming, but those top 4 receivers don't get me wrong. The top 4 receivers are definitely solid. And then you've got Trey Harris and maybe 1 or 2 other dudes that I like. I'm not going to give it up here because Steve took Fannin, solid pick. And then it went Milroe. Isaiah Bond is the one of them that I was looking at. And the other receiver did not go. Tez Johnson was there at the Senior Bowl. He did very well. But the unfortunate thing for Tez Johnson is his measurables. The dude measured in at less than Tank Dell's weight. Okay, he came in at 5'9", 156. Okay, now, when I was in high school, I was very fast and very trim, and I even weighed more than that. I was at $165, and so 156, dude, is tiny. And we all know the troubles with injuries Tank Dell's dealt with so far. And I'm not talking about the leg injuries really as much as I'm talking about the concussions, because the concussion protocol in the NFL is really tightened up. And if you've noticed, some of these smaller receivers, that is what they're struggling with the most is, I don't want to put it on that, but you look at Tank Dell and you look at Jordan Addison. He seems to he's in the concussion protocol all the time. Now he's passed through the concussion protocol, but I think you're just getting my point. With Tez Johnson, he'll have a role. It's just, I don't know. I think he might be more Tutu Atwell than Tank Dell. That's all. So Dylan Sampson and Ayume Nora go. Let's see here. Viewers. So all 5 of the quarterbacks that I would even think of drafting are gone. So then we're gonna go back to the running back. Well, likely. Actually, no. Dude, like I wasn't there in person, but many of the guys that I know that I watch, and they were just like, this Arroyo dude was lights out. So I'm going to jump on that bandwagon for now. Tight end is a strong position in this draft. So let off the show by saying that there's a tight end revolution with youth. And so I think most of my drafts, as long as I've got enough picks, I'm going to be dipping my toe into the tight end waters, because tight end's an interesting position with the rankings. Like, you don't necessarily have to be the top tight end through the draft season to end up being the best tight end in your class. All right, we're going to go 4 rounds here, guys. So might as well get used to these names. All of our leagues are 4 rounds, right? So here we go. We're into, sorry, Brandon, you got to pick and then we'll go. Brandon, good pick in the 2nd round. Matthew Golden there was the receiver I would have, like, even with Trey Harris, I'd say. One interesting mock had Golden going all the way up at 12 to the Cowboys, because he explained he wouldn't necessarily move Golden ahead of some of the other receivers. He just picked it as a specific good fit with the Cowboys having CeeDee Lamb. You could put Golden on the outside and CeeDee can operate under the middle. So just keep your eye on Matthew Golden. He had a really good playoff run, and him and Isaiah Bond were pretty close going into like the whole season. And then Golden's kind of fresh in people's minds now. All right, Jalen Royals, another receiver I like there. And so let's see here. Who do we have? Mason Taylor on the top of the board there at tight end. Okay, I'm going to do it. We're going to go Rashard Smith again. Hey, got to go with what they say out there. Again, I was not at the combine physically. So, I'm just, and it's not just one podcaster saying this. It's many. Many said that Elijah Arroyo just was tearing it up and was a beast of a man there. So, all right. Let's see here. We've got DJ Giddens to Steve. Nice pick. Foss Boss, you went with Jaden Higgins again. He's your man. Yeah, that's all right. You pick your guys and you go with them. All right, you guys want to run it back one more time? Let's do it. We don't need to go 5 rounds. Let's do it one more here. All right. And that draft. Okay, guys, I've got it updated. Let me get you the link here. Sorry, let me get back to this here. There we go. Okay. I'll get you the link here in a second. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. Dom, you ready to go? You still in the house? There is the link, fellas. I will drop it in on our league site as well. All of you guys are on that, in that league, so I know you guys can all join there. But anybody else who's joining in on the show live, by all means, hop on in, grab your spot, and we'll get this fired up. I'll let you guys pick your spots first. There we go. Brandon hopped in. Whose turn is it in our draft? Brandon, you got any questions for me? Go ahead, fire away. Let me know. Just checking out our startup here. Okay. Still one pick away there. Okay. Brandon is in. Dom, you want to jump in on here? Steve? Foss Boss? You in? Yes, the startup we are in right now, I agree, is crazy interesting with the format of picking the kickers for the draft picks. Yes, that's something I started a few years ago, and it just adds an extra strategic realm to it all. Like you've got to know a little bit about the rookies coming in, and I ended up getting the 101 at the what pick was it? The 303. So I felt that was a good value. As I mentioned, I feel like Genti is pretty much dead even to me value-wise with Saquon as the RB3 right now. So, I think I got pretty good value for that pick. I ended up with what else did I get? The 106 and the 201 so far. I think we're in round, 11 or 12? And then, I think the beginning of 12, and we're at the 204 is the next pick on the board. Yeah, that is a nice perk of picking back to back. You can always go one player, one draft pick, one player, one draft pick, one player, one draft pick, and then you can help build your team there. You can still build out its best ball, so you can still build out a lineup and then make sure you get a little draft capital as well and keep yourself flexible. Always want to stay flexible throughout the startup as long as possible. Like, you don't want to have to commit to going all in or a win now team for as long as possible, right? And like, I tried to stay as young but productive as possible while getting some draft capital. The 101 pick has historically been a huge hit the majority of the time, especially at the running back and wide receiver positions. Quarterbacks, you can argue what you want about Trevor Lawrence right now. Trying to think of some of the other recent 101s. So let's go back. The 101 we've had last year, it was who was the 101 last year? Why am I blanking? Caleb. Okay. So it was Caleb or Marv. Generally speaking, it was Caleb. And then we had let me get the other sleeper. There we go. Sorry, I had the wrong sleeper tab up here. Okay. So now we're all seeing the board. Okay. Brandon, I guess it's just you and me, buddy. All right. I'm gonna take the 106 because I have the 6th pick in the draft that we'll do in the future in the startup that we're doing right now. So let's go ahead and fire it away. Done. But yeah, going back to my thought on the 101. So you got Caleb, who's the jury's still out on him. He looked decent enough last year that he's not a complete flop, right? He's not Jamarcus Russell. Okay. And then you've got Bijan before that, then Breece Hall before him, and then Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow. So, I mean, you got a pretty solid looking core there with those 5 guys, at least. So the 101 generally is a very, very safe pick. Okay. So if this is how the board went, we got Travis Hunter going at the 103, which definitely could happen. Cam Ward, if this is how it fell, typically right now I'm leaning Caleb Johnson there because I have Caleb. So I think that the running backs go Genty. Then you have Caleb Johnson and Omarion Hampton, either order, and then Travion Henderson and Judkins in the order. Now, Judkins or Henderson could easily jump the other two if they get better draft capital or better landing spot. But we'll have to see. But right now, there's a clear top 5 to me at the running back position. Okay, so no tight ends went in the first there. Brandon, you snapped up Colson Loveland. You like Loveland, huh? Yeah. Took him over Tyler Warren. Warren went right after him. And then we have, at this point, like, we just got to try and help pump Jackson Dart up the board, honestly, because he should be going higher, but obviously there's got to be more drafts done for that to be reflected. All right, we're going to take him. There we go. And back to the early picks, like, you can even look at the 102s, and of the recent 102s, I think the only non-hit that jumps right out at me would be Treylon Burks. But even in that class, like, you had Drake London, you had Garrett Wilson. It was a very nice wide receiver class that year. Breece Hall was like the only running back, I think. All right. I'm sure there were other running backs, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying that had like top 5 in them. All right. Jalen Royals out of Utah State. Very savvy route runner. And apparently he was much more polished at the Senior Bowl than most thought he'd be, coming from a small school. So, yeah, Jalen Royals is showing himself to be a potential solid starter, maybe wide receiver 3 out of the gate for a team. Let's see now. If we were at this point, I always start by looking at the running backs here, because this is a strength of the class, the utmost strength. And so I like Woody Marks and Brashard Smith, but I gotta give some love to the dude who dominated at the Senior Bowl. There we go. Elijah Rowe again. Boom. So the second best position this year in just this year's draft class is the tight end position. So if you leave your draft with at least one tight end, and this is what I was trying to get at earlier, Sam Laporta was not the top tight end in that class. Kincaid got taken first, but Sam Laporta still was the best producer. And then you go backwards a few years, like Travis Kelce was not a first or second round pick. George Kittle was like a 5th round pick. I think Kelce was a 3rd rounder. But you get my point. Like, you don't have to be a 1st round tight end pick to succeed at the next level. Scatabo went right before me. That's all right, because this is a loaded running back class. I'm going to take Woody Marks in this one just to be fun, because I like him too. Very good receiving back out of USC. Probably, put it this way, he's probably a better running back than Marshawn Lloyd, who the Packers took in round 4 last year, I think it was. So that's just my point. Like, and now Woody Marks is somebody who's going to go in probably round 5 of this year's draft. So you can see, even though they'll go in a later round, there's still better running backs ahead of them. All right. Great job, Brandon. I mean, do you want to do one more? I will start it up. Yeah, toss up between Loveland and Warren. Yeah, exactly. I like Warren. Everybody generally has Warren ahead of Loveland right now, so that's where, like, I've seen in some super tight end premium leagues, Warren going as high as like 5 or 6. Okay, let's do one more. We'll fire it up here. Let me end this one. Okay, we'll delete it. There we go. We'll start it up. I'll copy the link for you here, Brandon, one more time. There it is. And I'll go to our league quick. And I'll drop it in there if you weren't able to, so you can access it more easily. There we go. All right. There I am back. Okay. Let's go. There we go. Okay, Brandon is back. Anybody else want to hop in real quick? Click on the link there, or let me know if you're in one of my leagues. I can drop the link in the league there. Maybe that's more accessible. I think that people had trouble accessing the draft through the message board on the show. So just let me know if you need to. I can find another way to get you the link right away if you want in on this mock. Okay. Here we go. I am going to select. I will go at pick 11. There we go. I haven't picked out of the 11 hole yet. And I have 2 teams where I lost in the championship, so I will take the 11 spot there. Yes. Okay. All right. Anybody else want to join? No, I'm not going to make you wait any longer, Brandon. You've been here all night, and I will reward that right now. Let's go. All right, Brandon in the 3 hole. I am in the 11 spot. There we go. So we got Genty and then Travis Hunter at the number 2, which could be a pick if your league is using some IDP points, because who the hell knows how many plays this kid, Travis Hunter, the Heisman Trophy winner, is going to be playing. Complete wild card. But if you're getting a lot of defensive points, I would not have an issue taking him. Now, if this is the way it went, let's see here. So Hampton and Henderson off the board. Wide receiver heavy so far. It's Shadur. Oh, this would be tough between Tyler Warren and Caleb Johnson. I'm going to go Caleb. There we go. Okay. So if you break down Caleb Johnson's film, I got to watch more on him. But dude, the first few highlights that I've watched on him, like it went like 4 minutes before the guy was even touched, before he got 10 yards into the defense. So like, it's hard for me to say a little whether his O-line was just so good or he just has extremely good vision as well. Because, you can have a good O-line and you can look like Kenny Gainwell out there. Or you can have a good O-line and you can look like Saquon out there. Now, to me, Caleb Johnson ran like, do you remember DeMarco Murray from the Cowboys? A little taller, upright, big back, though. Definitely can play 3 downs. He didn't catch a lot of passes at Iowa, so that's kind of the little knock on him. But I mean, a lot of college backs don't catch that many balls. He only caught 20 passes last year. I don't know. I'm not that worried about it. All right, so let's see what we got on the board here. So I can see right away Matthew Golden jumps out at me as not being drafted. The 3 tight ends there. So Arroyo hasn't been drafted. I am going to, and neither is Jackson Dart. Geez, this is, wow. I can't wait for these to get, I'm going to take Jackson Dart. He's got to get pumped up. If they're saying he's got top 15 draft capital possibilities, like, dude's got to play. So I'm going to take him. All right. In the back end of the second round. That's ridiculous value. Okay. So Brandon, back to you there. And you went Matthew Golden. Nice pick. Yeah. He's definitely one that has, I'm not going to say solidified himself as a first round wide receiver, but he's either going to go in the first or early second. I'll say that. And it all depends on team need. Like I said, that fit with the Cowboys is almost perfect for them. So, people draft receivers based on that too, whether they need a slot guy or they need more of an outside guy. That plays all into it. All right, let's slide it up here. There we go. See the board a little bit better. Okay. Oh boy, who's available now? Okay. Running back, RJ Harvey is awesome. Receiver, I am not going to go. And my boy Arroyo is still there. Jeez, if I can get Arroyo or Mason Taylor, for that matter, who also did well. Mason Taylor is Jason Taylor from the Miami Dolphins back in the day. Jason Taylor's kid. So you can imagine, yes, this kid is built to play in the NFL. So Mason Taylor, keep that in mind as well. All right, so it's back to me. Brandon, you went with Jaylen Royals. Nice pick. So you got Golden and Royals there. Ollie Gordon, love that kid. He showed up at the Senior Bowl, little overweight, little. He showed up at 233. He was listed at OSU at like 218. So a lot of backs bulk up going into the Senior Bowl and the combine. So 15 pounds that he can probably work off. I'm not too worried. It's not like he's Eddie Lacy. All right. So back to me here. Gunnar Helm is another top 5 tight end. So keep his name fresh in your minds, out of Texas. Donovan Edwards looked good at the Senior Bowl, but I am going to go back to the well and Brashard Smith. There we go. He's just the kind of back that I like. See, now this draft, man, this goes 5 rounds deep. You're going to have some good undrafted free agents out of this class. A lot of people weren't. There's Gunnar Helm. Good pick, Brandon. All right. So make one more pick. We do have a couple leagues that are deeper, so we will go this far down in some leagues. Will Howard getting taken here. Khalil Mullings out of Michigan. Oh, Nick Nash down there. Tight end. There we go. Mason Taylor. Boom. Okay. We're going to end that right there for tonight. Brandon, thank you for your participation. Much appreciated. This was a fun evening. Had a nice, solid crew in there. We had, 5 people in one of the drafts. So keep joining us every mock draft Monday. We're going to be running these every single Monday as the rookies shift and the tiers move. As you can see, just from the Senior Bowl alone, we had 2 more players that were high risers, Jackson Dart and Elijah Arroyo, the tight end out of Miami, solidifying those positions, giving the quarterback class a possible 3rd quarterback to be taken in the real NFL draft's first round, and then a tight end who's moved himself up into the top 5, definitely solidifying the depth of the already strong tight end class this 2025 draft season. So tomorrow, Matt and I are going to go over our new startup that we've done. We're in round 12 right now, so we're going to give you a little recap of what's gone on and some of the trading action. It's been pretty wild, so you won't want to miss that. Check us out. Check me out for my Dynasty rookie rankings. We just kind of went over. You can check out my rankings on Patreon, patreon.com/Birdhouse Dynasty Show. And any questions you have, go ahead and buy me a coffee. buymeacoffee.com/Birdhouse Dynasty Show. And of course, don't forget to never stop working.